installment of me and this stupid vacuum system. So you have to don't mind shaky cam here. This is going to be a shaky cam section. So this is the mess that I have going on over here. Well, we're going to start with the messy mess first. And the biggest mess right now is this saw. I love this saw. This saw is awesome. This is the Bosch 10-inch, 12-inch, 10-inch radial, or 10-inch blade, 12-inch radial arm, articulated, so you can put it right up against the thing. It's not one of those big long ones. It's got this cool knuckle joint on it. Thing's pretty neat. And it comes with, this is the dust collection. And so ironically enough, this actually does fit these, oh no, it didn't. So this originally came with just this opening, which is a fucky size, of course. You know, why would it not be? Metric system. I happen to have this universal, this is kind of like a soft piece, universal adapter. I'm gonna set the camera down for a second. And actually I may have glued these together. You know what I did? I got so pissed off at these two that I glued them together. But this actually threads on here. Vacuum hoses are always reverse thread too, if you really want to get irritated. So this threads on. This is a Wood River attachment. I know it is because I specifically bought it for this saw, and it came with this hose, but it only came with one, because why would vacuum attachments come with two ends? So that actually fits in there pretty well. And truthfully, this type of saw is really hard to do dust collection on. I found a company that sells a 3D printed attachment for this. Part of me wants to buy the attachment from the company, and the other part of me wants to pay him the $20 for the STL file. I may just pay him the $20 for the STL and print it myself. Yeah, why not? So I have this board here behind it that catches the vast majority of the mess. I've actually been cutting with this saw. Oh, here's the other thing too. I have this monster. That dust collector's entire job is for this saw. That's how much mess this saw makes. So I was originally running it off of this trunk line. So this trunk line here, so this is an open end here. It's a 4-inch open end with a cap on it. This is busted. This is an adapter that's adapted down to finally it broke. And that's a paint can cover or paint can cap I stuck on there and taped it on because it whistles. And then there's a blast gate here. It's a plastic blast gate. This plastic blast gate actually works pretty well. But this is the very end of my vacuum system, so it has a tendency to not work that great. I originally wanted to be able to hook a vacuum hose up to this thing and vacuum the floor and vacuum all around this part of the shop. Well, wishing one hand, shit in the other. That's like, well, we're going to get over here in a second. So this was a trunk drop down to, where is it? So this hood here, which wasn't worth a shit, really. I don't know what this is supposed to be for, but I can tell you right now, it wasn't good for that saw. And I made a whole big rigmarole of making stuff for that, and it just never worked. As a matter of fact, it didn't work for shit. It didn't work with my old saw, and it definitely doesn't work with the new one. This went to the other fitting. So the 2.5 inch line that's coming off of the saw went to this. Now it goes to the other one. Oh, and yeah, here's another adapter. Then I had another Y here that came down, which I showed in the very first video, which I cut off. Yeah, I know my cut's shitty, but now it's got to come down here to these sanders. So this is, I refer to everything that's super duper old as Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Well, this is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. I bought this thing at a Homier tool sale. Before Harbor Freight had stores, they would go around and sell junk tools at like hotels and stuff. Well, that's where I got this. And not for nothing, the thing still works just fine. What I actually did with it is I cut the, so this is the base plate here. I actually cut a hunk out of the base plate so I could have something soft. That actually works pretty well. This is my new belt sander. I did a video on this one. Oh, this has no dust collection, so I built this monster for the dust collection. That kind of worked a little bit, but not really. This is my new belt sander, and then I'll go around the other side. This has this collection, dust collection, but I screwed it up because I put this on here to act as a, when I make my nightlight bases, I need a 45-degree angle, so I made this thing, which works great, except the dust hits this, flies over top of the dust collection. So I'm going to make an extension for this, but that's later down the road. And this is the pickup for this. Now this one actually has, yeah, so this is ID to the belt sander, but it requires an adapter to go to, we're gonna get to that one. It requires an adapter to go to a hose. So these don't fit. Oh, that fits. Okay, so that's the adapter here. And it was a Y going to this sander here. Now I did a video on this sander too. This is another Harbor Freight special. I love this sander, it works great, except this is the outlet port on this one. So this had an adapter that went into here. It didn't come with this. I don't know where the hell I scrounged that thing up from. And then I had this universal adapter here sticking into there, which kind of works. And then it goes to this hose here. Well, I want to eliminate all of this and have just the mag catch on here. I will have to check the clearance between this and this, because I do actually bend, this bench is adjustable here. And then the next thing I want to do, and we're going to go around this side, is, so here's the outlet here. So I want to put one of these This is the factory one. But I want to put one of these on. Oh, see? There you go. I want to put one of these on there. Yeah, and that doesn't, well, yeah, that kind of fits. But needless to say, this is all going away. And getting replaced with one of these that fits either inside of this or over top of it. 6 in one, half a dozen the other. I don't care how it goes in. I'm actually probably going to make this hole smaller. This piece is going to be smaller, and it's going to slide right into here, zyke to zip, and be good to go. And it's going to be shorter, okay? And then I'm going to use this hose, which bends really nice. So this hose actually bends pretty tight. All right, so that hose bends pretty tight, and it's going to come down off of here. Now I bought this hose, which I'm going to run from an aluminum blast gate up there. I didn't really want to do, I didn't want to go crazy, but I'm going to have to. well, I don't have to. I could cut this line here and put a plug in that, which I built. I'm going to show that in a second, and then put a T in here, a 2.5-inch T somewhere over here. But I really don't want to do that. The freaking PVC T's nowadays are like, for that size, is like $25. I have all this stuff. I might as well use it, right? The other one I want to do, and I haven't got to it yet, is they make a there's an STL file that you can download that is an articulating kind of like a Gorilla Pod, like balls that interconnect with each other to work with my drill press. Believe it or not, my drill press makes a ton of dust when I drill. No matter what I'm drilling, I'm always making a ton of dust. And then maybe if I'm feeling really frisky, I might make one for this too, a smaller one, to add to this. And then I'll attach it to the base here somewhere. And then the whole thing is gonna have one of these, which will be the main pickup. So instead of having literally 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I want to do a bench sweep here, blast gates, I'm only going to have one 4-inch blast gate. The aluminum, the good aluminum blast gates, I'm going to put right here. So that'll have a 4-inch blast gate right there, and then one 2.5-inch hole coming down to story of my life, to control all of these. I don't ever really use these tools all at the same time, so it's not like I'm going from this sander to this sander to this. I'm not going from this sander to this sander to this sander to this sander to this sander and then to the drill press, and they all have to be sucking all at the same time. That doesn't need to be. So there's that. The other thing I'm thinking about possibly doing is installing a secondary blast gate, but I'm going to show that in a second. So this is the one that runs to my table saw. This one actually works pretty good. I use the crap out of this one all the time, so this one works good. This is a self-cleaning blast gate, and you can see here, I'm going to do this, I'm going to hate myself for it, but see here? That's the static electricity pulling the that's the static electricity from the vacuum causing that. It's interesting too, this is for the real dorks that watch my stuff, this is a ground. So this one's grounded to the pipe here, and this is grounded conduit, grounded to the actual shop. And you can see, it's really cool actually, you can see along the line as the ground starts to dissipate through the plastic. So dissipates, gone. By here it's gone because I have this rubber connection here, right? There's this rubber connection isolates it. And then you got this mess here, right? And then it goes down to here. This one is grounded also somewhere. I forget where I grounded it. But this pipe is grounded also. I think it's grounded outside, or it's grounded in the shed. Didn't even get to the shed yet. So the other part of this project is I want to extend this line all the way to the back of the shop. Don't ignore this shit pile. The shit pile is on the list of things to unfuck, right? To unfuck. But what I need to do first is run this line. Oh, I 3D printed this plug too. Don't pay no mind to the tape on it. It really makes it works great that way. I want to run, this is, this goes to my bandsaw over here, And this has a 4-inch line in it too. It doesn't need a 4-inch line here. So I'm probably going to... Oh, the other thing I did was use actual PVC cement on these, which was a mistake. I should have just slip fit these together so I could have taken it apart at a later date. Now these fittings are all trashed, except for this one here, which actually I think is trashed too, because that glue actually dried a lot better than I thought it was going to. That's the Sika urethane. So somewhere along here, I'm going to cut this. I think I'm going to cut this out somewhere up in here and put a joint in it, and then run a 2.5-inch line over here and then down to this pickup here for the bandsaw. And then after I'm done that, I need to install one of my reducers here, and then maybe a blast gate here, because the blast gate for the joiner is down here and it gets clogged. So that's the other thing I'm contemplating doing, is installing a blast gate somewhere in here. My joiner clogs constantly. If I'm milling a lot of lumber, forget about it. It just clogs instantly. Now I have an aluminum blast gate here for my planer, and I just have a fitting, right? So this actually fits on here. Duct tape. Everything's duct taped. That fits in there just fine. I turn the planer on. I slammed it shut. The planer actually has its own blower, so it works pretty good. And then that floor sweep down there is absolutely fucking worthless. Absolutely fucking worthless. And then it goes out. And then it goes out to the shed. Then I also need to correct the shed, because the shed has the same problem as I have in the shop here, which is the flex line that I'm using doesn't fit the blower. So I've got a couple leaks in there too that have to be taken care of. My life is exhausting.